Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for joining our webinar here today in partnership with NetSuite and Siebert Consulting Group, highlighting our SuiteCommerce extension for NetSuite. We're really excited to talk a little bit more about how NetSuite customers leveraging SuiteCommerce or SuiteCommerce Advanced can utilize Annex Cloud to help grow their business online. My name is Greg Bauman. I'm the Director of Channel Partnerships and Alliances with Annex Cloud, and I work with Siebert Consulting Group as well as NetSuite on our overall partnership. We do also have a couple other members that I wanted to introduce you guys to today. The first one is Paul Siebert. He's the e-commerce director with Siebert Consulting Group, a partner of Annex Cloud, and also a member of NetSuite's CAP program. We also have Harish Parikh on the Annex Cloud side. He heads up our partner integrations and has been very integral in the development of our NetSuite integrations. Just to talk a little bit about the agenda for today. So first, we wanted to talk about who Annex Cloud is. Some of you might be new to us, and we want to give you a high-level overview of what we do, as well as how we work with NetSuite. Then we just want to talk a little bit about why loyalty is important, why NetSuite customers should be looking at loyalty as part of their 2020 roadmap, and how it can help grow their business online as well as in store. Then we do want to talk a little bit about Annex Cloud for SuiteCommerce. So we'll start to dive into the intricacies of the integration, as well as the Annex Cloud integration. And then we want to put a bow on it by showing you guys a live customer that's on SuiteCommerce and how they're leveraging Annex Cloud's loyalty platform. And then we'll have some Q&A at the very end. Okay, so first let's talk a little bit about who Annex Cloud is. So Annex Cloud is a unified customer marketing platform, and we're based out of Los Angeles, California. We've been around since 2010, so we have a decade of experience in the industry. And we've also been a partner of NetSuite since 2016. So we have a long-standing partnership. And in the last couple of years, we've really invested a lot of resources into providing solutions for NetSuite customers that's going to really help them grow their business. We do have over 150 global customers, and we have 2 billion application clicks a month. And the reason why we like to highlight that is it just shows the engagement of how consumers are leveraging our platform for our clients. So that could be engaging with the loyalty platform, that could be posting a review, that could be signing up for a newsletter. There's a lot of different ways that consumers are engaging with the Annex Cloud platform, and we're seeing a lot of results from that. As I mentioned, we are a unified customer marketing platform, so we are more than just loyalty. So we've segmented our platform into 3 different areas. The first one is our referral marketing cloud. This is going to include any type of refer a friend campaigns, influencer management, or any contests and sweepstakes that you might want to power. We also have a user-generated content cloud arm. This is going to power any type of ratings and reviews, whether that's product ratings or even company ratings. Questions and answers, so having the ability to ask questions about certain products and having the brand, or more importantly, the brand's customers answer those questions, as well as visual commerce. But at our core, we are a loyalty platform. And what makes Annex Cloud unique is that our loyalty program natively integrates our referral marketing and our user-generated content that allows your loyalty program to be a lot more emotional in engagement, as well as having a social component to it as well. But we do power a lot of different types of loyalty programs. So if you're an online merchant only, we can help power that type of loyalty program. If you're an omni-channel merchant that sells online as well as in-store, we have an integration with SuiteCommerce in-store that will allow you to make sure that any type of loyalty data is passing between the in-store experience as well as the online experience. Again, social and behavioral loyalty. So starting to reward members for more than just purchases, but for incentivizing them with points for referring a friend or posting a review or any other type of action that you want them to take. Paid membership loyalty. So if you wanted to leverage your most loyal customers and they're willing to spend a monthly or annual fee to be a part of your loyalty program and get additional benefits. Amazon Prime is the easiest example of this, but we can power those types of programs. And then also manufacturers and B2B loyalty, which isn't as common, but we're seeing a lot of traction in those verticals. And we have some very unique features within Annex Cloud that we'll talk about in a little bit that'll show how manufacturers and B2B companies can take advantage of a loyalty program. We do specialize in a lot of different verticals, but in terms of NetSuite, there are some key verticals that we do specialize in. The first one, fashion and apparel. I'd also throw home and garden in this as well, but these verticals are always going to be primed for a strong loyalty program. So any type of fashion brand or apparel brand that's looking to leverage a loyalty program, whether they're online only or they have a combination of online and in-store, is always great for loyalty. Also wholesale manufacturers and B2B. So brands that are looking to leverage, get a better understanding of the data of their actual customers, or if they have other stakeholders that they're looking to reward. We're seeing some really cool traction with some of those verticals as well. And then we did want to highlight the NetSuite ecosystem because, again, we have developed integrations that make us very unique in the NetSuite space when it comes to not only SuiteCommerce, but SuiteCommerce in-store, as well as ERP. As I mentioned too, we are trusted by over 150 brands and retailers, and here is a snapshot of some of the brands that we work with. And in terms of the type of customer that we do like to work with, ideally we like to see a customer that's doing at least 5 million in annual revenue. When we're talking B2B, it's typically a little bit higher, so 10 million in annual revenue and up. So we really are looking to work with a more established mid-market to enterprise customer. Because Annex Cloud is more of a custom solution, which we'll dive into, it really makes more sense for that established merchant that's looking to really grow and scale their business to new heights. That's really where Annex Cloud can be a great fit. We also have a dedicated support team for every customer. So again, we are a very custom solution. So when someone signs up with Annex Cloud, they're given a dedicated customer success manager that focuses on the overall strategy of the loyalty program and is that day-to-day contact for the client. They're also given a dedicated implementation manager that sole focus is making sure that their technical ecosystem is all connecting well with an Annex Cloud. And then they are given access to our creative team with design support to help make sure that the loyalty dashboards or anything else involved with the loyalty program looks and feels like the actual brand. And all of this is included in the overall contract value, so there's no nickel and diming. They don't have to pay extra for professional services. We are really dedicated to the overall success of all of our clients. So what does Annex Cloud help solve for NetSuite customers? One of the unique things about the fact that our entire platform is natively integrated is we do touch all the different buying points in the sales process. So acquisition to conversion to retention. And loyalty focuses primarily on retention. So if you're looking to retain your current customer base, increase the frequency of purchase, if you're a manufacturer or a B2B company and you don't know much about what your customers are buying from third parties, our loyalty platform can really help with that. And it can also allow you to build a connection without having to resort to any type of discount. If you're offering incentives and rewards in the right way that you know your customers are going to value, you don't necessarily need to slap that 20% discount to get someone to come back and purchase. With referral marketing, it's really focused on acquisition. So really trying to drive that qualified traffic that you're looking for. And a lot of times when your most loyal customers are referring their friends, family, colleagues, etc., those people are also more likely to become more loyal customers in the future because of that affiliation. So it can really help identify who those brand advocates are, and it can help lower the acquisition cost that you might have through paid advertising, SEO, etc. We're not saying you shouldn't be doing that. That's all very critical, and it's the best source for top funnel advertising. But referral marketing is a very low-cost way to find some really qualified customers from the get-go. And then finally, user-generated content, which is going to focus more on conversion. So maybe you're driving a ton of traffic to your site, but you're not seeing the conversion rate that you'd expect. Having those customer reviews or those customer photos on your website can really build trust and make people more inclined to want to buy those products. I know that whenever I go onto a product page, one of the first things I'm looking at besides the product itself is what are customers saying about it? What are the reviews on it? It really helps drive a lot of people's decision-making process when it comes to whether or not they're going to buy from you or from one of your competitors. So before we get into the NetSuite side of all of this, I did want to highlight just a little bit about why we're talking about loyalty in the first place and why it should be a focal point for a lot of your clients' strategy heading into 2020. And really what it comes down to is we're starting to see this shift of what we call new age loyalty. So what does that mean? Really what it means is it's out with this old idea of how loyalty programs are meant to be, which is this earn and burn mentality. I'm going to purchase products and then earn points on those products, and then I'm going to receive some type of discount for those products. With how many options there are out there in terms of where we can buy, you really need to think a little bit more outside of the box in terms of how you're going to put together a loyalty program. And this earn and burn program style is not going to differentiate yourself from your competitors. You really need to think of loyalty in two different lenses. So one, what's in it for the member? What's going to make them want to participate in this program? And then also, what pain point does loyalty solve for the brand? And really, when it comes down to retention, it's also about overall engagement. How do I want my customers to feel about my brand? And loyalty can be very powerful for that. And what you need to think about immediately is you want to lead with emotion. So a lot of loyalty members, but also just consumers in general, really are seeking an emotional connection with the brand and are driven by these emotional experiences. And if you're not putting together these types of experiences, you might get them to purchase from you once, but they're less likely to come back and buy from you again because they don't have that affiliation with your brand. And that's really where this new age loyalty comes into play. So this is a slide that we did with Bain & Company, and this chart here is identifying all the elements of value that customers look for in a brand. And you can see they're tiered in different levels. There's more down at the bottom, and then if you move up to the top, there's less. Brands that are using 4 or more of these elements see a higher lift in revenue than those that have 1 or fewer of these. But what you'll see here is that the functional area is really where a lot of brands do a great job. You know, organization, reducing risk, making money, making sure the integrations are good, the quality is there. These are all incredibly important and things that you need to do, but this emotional tier is twice as powerful than the functional elements in predicting a positive NPS. So when you're looking at loyalty, or when you're looking at driving more repeat purchasers, you really want to increase into this emotional tier to try and build that emotional connection with your customers so that they are more likely to come back and buy from you. Now, there are 5 of these emotional elements that a loyalty program can tackle. So I wanted to quickly walk through those. The first one is fun and entertainment. So how is my loyalty program going to be entertaining? You know, there's a lot of brands that we look at on a daily basis with all different kinds of loyalty programs. We only have enough time for so many loyalty programs. So what's going to make mine fun and engaging that's going to make me want to come back and participate in the future? Rewards. So this is fairly standard with a loyalty program, but what types of rewards am I receiving? Are these the type of rewards that I'm really interested in? Does the brand actually know what I care about? You know, how can a loyalty program reward me for things that I really want to receive so that I do come back and engage with this brand in the future? Offering a badge or tier values. This is when you're really looking at loyalty tiers. We're all inherently competitive in some way. So if we're doing this right, where we're offering the right types of incentives to move up this tier, we're going to want to engage so that we want to move up from that silver to the gold level because we're going to get more benefits that we really value. Then there's affiliation and belonging. So how do I feel like I'm a VIP customer of this brand? Again, everyone has a loyalty program, but not all of them have that VIP feel. So am I getting access to exclusive products just for being a part of the loyalty program? Am I getting early sneak peeks? Do I have in-store experiences that I'm able to take advantage of? What's going to make me feel like I'm actually a part of this brand journey that they're trying to put together? And then lastly, motivation, which really ties in all of these other elements. And that's what's going to motivate me to actually participate in the loyalty program. And that's really where the brand needs to understand what these customers value and how can you implement that into a successful loyalty campaign. Now, if you're able to do this, what we've seen is that highly emotionally engaged consumers are more likely to come back and buy from that favorite brand 82% of the time, compared to only 30% if they're less emotionally engaged, maybe using that earn and burn mentality, or just not really understanding how to put together this emotional loyalty program. Now, I also want to talk about why loyalty for some of these other verticals that maybe don't necessarily think a lot about loyalty. And one of those is B2B. So Annex Cloud is not unique to just B2C, but we also power a lot of B2B loyalty programs. And while B2C can be a much more linear path, there are a lot of different stakeholders that B2B companies can look at where a loyalty program can really help. So maybe you wanted to reward wholesalers or vendors for purchase renewals or acting as a reference. Maybe you wanted to reward based off of invoicing options or subscriptions, where if someone pays in full instead of monthly installments, or they agree to a multi-year contract, you can reward them with different types of rewards or incentives to be able to do that. Maybe you need sales reps or other vendors to participate in marketing initiatives. A loyalty program can help power that. So there are a lot of ways to drive engagement with other stakeholders that can in turn increase that purchase frequency that can be very valuable to a B2B company. Also, there's manufacturers. So a lot of manufacturers who sell at third parties, maybe they don't know a whole lot about who's buying from those stores, but they're selling to the stores directly, but they want to have that direct-to-consumer presence, or they just want to know what products they're buying. We have a solution called native receipt scanning that allows manufacturers to uncover data from these third parties. So if you're buying a product from Amazon or Target or Walmart or Sephora, by leveraging our receipt scanning, you can reward customers to upload their receipts and earn points for the products purchased at Target. So a customer can earn points for purchasing outside of that specific brand, which is great. But what's very valuable for the brand is now they know what their customers are buying in these third-party marketplaces, which I know is a huge pain point. If you're using Bronto, for example, you don't have any data of what people are buying from Amazon or Target to be able to market to them. So this is a way to start to capture some of that data. So once you know someone buys something at Target and they've uploaded this receipt, they've given access to their email address, now you can start to send off a welcome campaign or some type of post-purchase messaging campaign based on what they've bought to send a more personalized experience to that customer. So this is really a game changer for manufacturers who are really trying to understand their customers a little bit better, whether they want to know the data or they're trying to drive more people to their own personal direct-to-consumer site. Okay, so great. So now let's talk a little bit about Annex Cloud and NetSuite. So before I pass it on to Paul to talk a little bit more about the technical side of loyalty and SuiteCommerce, did just want to quickly highlight what our partnership and our integrations with NetSuite look like. So we have configured a solution for NetSuite that touches on all the core products of NetSuite. So we are the only loyalty platform in the NetSuite ecosystem that is built for NetSuite certified on not only SuiteCommerce and that SuiteCommerce Standard and SuiteCommerce Advanced, but also the NetSuite ERP and NetSuite's POS, point of sale solution, SCIS, or SuiteCommerce in-store. Now, I know I also mentioned earlier that Annex Cloud has a few other solutions as part of their platform, and our integrations with NetSuite apply to not only loyalty, but also our referral marketing and our user-generated content. So whether you're using us for just one of these three solutions or you have the entire solution, it's all integrated with NetSuite and it's available to all NetSuite customers. And we've also developed a lot of resources, which we'll definitely make sure to share with you guys after the webinar. But we have a unique landing page that you can go to, annexcloud.com/NetSuite, to learn more about our partnership. And we are also listed on suiteapp.com. So any questions you might have, you can certainly go there to look at additional resources. But now I would love to pass it along to Paul, who's going to talk a little bit more about how we've worked together and more of the technical side of how loyalty and NetSuite integrate.